Hello to everyone watching from Australia and all around the world. We're back live here with filming footy and dartfish for this week's match. We have Prince Alfred College versus St Ignatians. Looking at the ladder, these two teams are separated by quite a bit. St Ignatians unfortunately at the bottom of the table, with Prince Alfred College sitting in second. They were in first most of the year after they lost last week, just moved down to second, but we'll see if we can have an upset here today. Congested start straight away. The ball's tapped down. The inside 50 now, looking for the runner who's making their sprint. And they're wrapped up. The umpire said I'll have it. So yeah, as I said, a bit of a delay to the stream today, but welcome from everyone watching. I'm Jad Gosson today, your commentator. Beautiful Park 9 Oval, good day for footy. Brazil tries to wrest it out of the contest, but it's just dribbled over the line, boundary throw in right in front of us today. One hand from Brazil, spins around, cleared away from Kelly, and Elliot Mitchell down the line long, nearly taking the mark, just couldn't, bounces and immediately pressured, but does well to find a little bit of space. Is McCarthy, centres it to no one in particular, ball bounces all over the place. The PAC defender does well there, gets the ball free. The ball still dribbling, soccer kicked off the ground. Finds Wildman, sorry. They go wider now. Larson marks it, running into the 50. Tackled as he kicks it, but cleanly with a good pressure, and again cleared by Elliot Mitchell. Been busy early in defence. Marked in the middle of the ground now is PAC. Prince Alfred now back onto the further wing. Strolls in the 50, looking for a mark, but again intercepted by Elliot Mitchell. He's done a few really nice defensive things early. The kick probably wasn't the best to his opponent, to his teammate, but Elliot Mitchell in the right place, read the play well as St Ignatius, Old Ignatius, spread the ball to the wing. Old Iggies as they're called. They do well to get the ball forward, looking for a mark now, just couldn't take it, bounces off his chest as it's trying to be cleared by Perks, who's wrapped up immediately. Another stoppage now. Thanks to all our sponsors today. We got Adelaide Footy League, this league that we all play under, the Buddy Bet, $5 maximum bet. Make sure you gamble responsibly with Buddy Bet. Sportal Scoreboard. Archie's Thongs, which the best player will receive today. Dartfish for all the stats. Old Iggy's now into the 50 again, looking for a mark. Just intercepted with a bit of an arm across, finds his teammate. Running out of defence now is Prince Alfred. Into the 50, 2-on-1. Does well to fly, just couldn't take the mark, and again cleared by the Old Iggy's defence. They've been well so far, read the play well, helping each other out here with a few handballs, and finds the clearance eventually onto the wing. They've done well so far, the Iggy's defence. They'll be happy with this start. Really read the play well and really working hard in numbers to get the ball out of that area. Boundary stoppage on the wing now. Ball now in dispute. Clearance found by Prince Alfred into the 50. Just the edge of the 50 actually. Iggies do well to rebound it off their halfback. Through Davies. And now a few players getting involved. McNamara, the captain, and Pritchard Through the middle of the ground, Prince Alfred go. And now into the 50, trying to get the mark here. Again, Iggy's have the defence outnumbered in defence. Through Davies and a few others, handballing nicely to get the clearance. Big fly and big mark by Tozer. Into the 50 goes Tozer. Big fly, just couldn't take the mark. Drops down to the floor. Spins around on his right foot, snaps it. Going towards goal. And marked in the goal square. So that was a very nice kick by Wildman. And marked in the goal square by his teammate in Brazil. We know Brazil's very dangerous. Kicked plenty of goals this year. Including a big bag of 7 last time they versed Old Iggy's. Has 36 goals for the year. Very impressive. Second on the tally for the whole Adelaide Footy League. His teammates first. Brazil, however, from close range, could not finish on that time. Very unusual from Brazil. We know how good he is at kicking. He was about 15 metres out and quite a tight angle, but usually you'd expect him to get that one. So they do get the first score on the scoreboard. One behind plays nothing so far. Stoppage now on the wing. Right near the boundary line, but it is thrown up. Justin go over the line. Soccer kicked off the ground into the middle of the ground. No one there. Bit of a foot race, but it's a one-man foot race. Picked up nicely, however, from that POC player, and goes wide. A lot of his teammates calling for it here. He decides to go long down the line instead, long towards the 50. And they clear it again through Elliot Mitchell. He's been very good early, super good defensively. From intercepting it to clearing it to being in the right place to get a punch. And they get a free kick now on the wing through Spencer. Spencer goes forward. Punch from behind is the defender. Still keeps it in his Iggy's. But now it does eventually go over for a boundary throw-in. Another stoppage now. The umpire says he'll bowl it up. A few people there shouting, wanting hold the ball. But the umpire said it's all fair and it will be bowl up now on the wing. Just half forward for Old Iggy's, but Prince Alfred do get the college. Looking for his teammate here in Clark, does well after it bounces. The kick is nice to the 50 and marked again by Brazil. Plays on, snaps around the corner and gets the first goal of the game. This time didn't take his time to have the set shot, just immediately marked it, spinned around and kicked it for the first goal of the game. Prince Alfred, Old Collegians now 1 goal, 1-7, plays 0 from Old Iggy's, but they've been good in defence. Iggy's so far really made them work for that first goal. We're about 7-8 minutes in, and that was the first goal of the game, and they've been good defensively so far. Ball back in the middle now. Trying to get the clearance is Ferrari, but just couldn't. The ball now flies around. The handball goes backwards to go forwards. Kicked into the 50 once again, into the pocket. Brazil jumps and takes a nice mark. Been very dangerous early is Brazil. Already has 1 goal, 1. looking for another. About 30 metres out. Quite a bit of an angle. Trying to put him off as the defender. You might be able to hear that on the mic. And it does put him off successfully, missing to the right. 1 goal, 2 behinds, plays 0 so far. Early stage of the first quarter. They do well though to get the mark from the kick in. Finds Davis, sorry. And his kick is not the best, so Old Iggy's now turn it over onto the wing. Looking for a cheap mark but couldn't, so goes long down the line instead, and it is intercepted there. And they find Perks. In their own defensive 50 now is Prince Alfred. Kicks it to Clark. Clark, dangerous kick, but it is nicely taken. Could have easily been intercepted, but he was strong in the contest to mark that one. And the 1-2 with Curran. They're on the wing now. Loses the ball slightly, but good composure from everyone involved to keep the ball in. And now eventually does go over though. Boundary, throw in right in front of all the supporters here. Good crowd forming here. Park 9. Mark now in the back half of the ground, runs through the middle. The kick is touched, but play on into the 50 now again. Marked on the edge of the 50, plays on quick as well. Looking for another mark, just a bit closer, and he does. Is Jaden Davis. That was Wildman again getting involved. He's been good early. Marked the ball on the edge of the 50, but immediately played on, knew his teammates well, and good chemistry between them to find that mark. A much better angle and much closer towards goal. Is Jaden Davis now having a shot? Low darting kick, and does find the middle of the goals. Didn't put any unnecessary height on it, just darting and straight through the goals. 2 goals, 2 plays 0 so far in this match. POC looking to get back on the winners list. Actually, they had a bit of an upset loss last week to Sacred Hearts College, lost by 33 points. Sacred Hearts are very good in their own right. They're sitting in 3rd, but when you're top of the tables, every game you lose would be an upset, and they did end up losing that one. Davis, who just scored now, scored 3, and Brazil scored 2 last week. So all the familiar faces getting on the score sheet, but they only had 6 goals all game, which is very unlike Prince Alfred, and they'll definitely be wanting to improve that today. Good intercepted from that clearance from Old Iggy's. Jasper Davies finds his teammate. They go towards the wing now. Just couldn't take the mark. Is Vandergaard, but he goes long, bouncing, nearly sneaks in for a goal, but just couldn't. The defense there nicely placed to clean it up, but the pressure gets to him, and it is a boundary throw in deep in the Old Iggy's forward line. They've done well just to bomb the ball forward there and nearly resolved it in a goal or a score, but they do get a stoppage now inside their forward line. They've been good early despite the 2-goal difference. Oh, it was the last man rule, I think. So they kicked it onto the boundary line and they snap around the corner and do score. So it was, I thought it was boundary throw-in, but it was very far away from where we're sitting, to be honest. And it was actually a last man rule from the rush kick out of defence. From that, they centred the ball. No one could take mark, but the snap was nice. We'll see who that player was in a second. Like I said, they're very far away from where we're sitting, where I'm sitting. But good start from Old Ignatians. They'll be happy with this. 2 goals, 1. They're being competitive early. Their defence has stood up mostly. Soccer kicked forward, trying to clean that one up, and they do eventually through the middle of the ground. Handballs over the top, just slips at the wrong moment as Charlick, but he does water handballer to his teammate. Kicked in the 50 now. The ball goes through a few people's legs, few people slipping. Again cleared by Elliot Mitchell, but to nowhere in particular. Takes a bounce and goes over for a last man. He chips it sideways now, just getting his teammates in a better position. Schultz goes wider now, a lot wider. A little bit back and a lot wider, but we'll see how that one works out for him. High into the 50 now, stood under his old Iggy's, nicely placed. The ball's still alive, bit of a throw but not seen, and it's wrapped up for wrapped up now. Boundary throw in. Spun around now into the 50 again. Looking for the ball. Long kick from 50 towards the goals. And it goes through. Beautiful kick there by Charlton. Charlton collected a nice play. All his teammates running to him, give him a support, and beautifully picked up and kicked from 50. Super effort. Very clean goal, that one, and he'll be very happy with that. The ball now compressing forward for a few soccer kicks. Spinned around is Clark. Takes a bounce in the pocket. Nearly goes over for boundary throw, but just touched. What does the umpire give it? Boundary throw in because of that touch. The ball now into the 50 with that throw from the ump. Handballs are nice by Old Iggy's to clear it and marked just outside the 50 by Dancioshi. Probably butchered that name, but his kick on the wing doesn't find a target. POC cleaned up nicely. Thought he had the mark, but it was just over the line. It'll be another boundary throw now. They find the mark on the wing, looking inbound, going through the corridor. Always dangerous, but they have the skills, definitely, to pull it off. They go wide again. They've done this a few times, trying to use the width of the field. The 2v1 from Old Iggy's does well, but the kick is rushed as he's tackled. And play on, says the up, not 15, and immediately gets wrapped up. Done well in that situation to get the ball, and was wrapped up as soon as he got it. So they've done well, Old Iggy's, to really keep the ball from progressing into their 50 again. Old Iggy's forward now. Solid defence by Prince Alfred, Old Collegians. They do get a few handballs away to find some space and get the ball out of the danger zone. The pressure is good from Old Iggy's, not letting him breathe. Nearly turned over with some big tackles, and it is eventually turned over. All that effort was worth it in the end. Into the 50 now. The ball bounces in the pocket. Trying to get rid of it as the defence. They find a handball over the top and towards the wing now with the kick. And the uncontested marking comes in clutch just to relieve some of that pressure. But they do play on. They like this fast footy and they like to use the wings. We've seen it so many times already. Even if they have the ball in the corridor mark, they still try and use the wings. They're trying to really stretch the Old Iggy's defence and the midfield that are defending. But when they need to, they do find marks. Trying to control the possession, control the game. Worked so far. 3 goals to 1 on the scoreboard, so not yet worked too much on the scoreboard, but it's definitely controlling the game around the field. And that mark is taken in the pocket. About 40 metres out. Just going to have to kick it. Not far from the boundary line. He's going to have to kick it from, about 40. Trying to distract him again. Jaden Davis already has one. And he gets his second. Very good kick with that circumstances. Tight angle, far out, sneaked inside at the inside of the post and gets his second of the match and the 4th for his team. Prince Alfred College out to 4 goals 2 to the visitors 1 goal straight. They done well there, Old Iggy's, to really put the pressure on in their forward line. Kept it there for a few times, but when they want to do, they broke the game open, used the wings like I mentioned, found the uncontested marks and found that route to goal. Cleared by Old Iggy's now through Kennedy, one of the vice captains. It is marked, however, by Prince Alfred College. They go into the 50 now, 2v1. Elliot Mitchell there again to get a hand to it, but the ball eventually is found by Wildman. Wildman centres it, takes a bounce, trying to get rid of it is Hodges, and uses his teammates, handballs it around. It does find a mark on the edge of the 50 to exit their defence. Another kick now over the top to an uncontested player. He plays on. Dangerous kick. Takes a bounce before it finds his teammate, but they do well to butter up. Handballs it around and spins with the kick. Snaps towards the goals. Bouncing just wide. Was dribbling along the floor. Kind of a bit of a Hail Mary effort. Just really didn't have time, so just put his foot through it. Bounced towards the goal slightly, but was always looking to go wide, and it did. Their first behind of the day. They work it up the ground well, using the corridor once again and finding those uncontested marks like I mentioned. Into the 50 now. Over the back is a few players. 2v1 is the attackers this time. Just couldn't pick it up cleanly. Bit of a fell as he went to bend down. But they do butter up nicely. Spins around one. Handballs it, but running too far. Or holding the ball, I believe, said the ump. So yeah, holding the ball. He was caught as he went to the handball and just didn't execute the handball because of the tackle. So yeah, holding the ball in my eyes, and that's what the umpire saw it. But the clearing kick is intercepted. Mark taken by Riley Davis. He's taking his time. I think he thought about shooting, but instead centres it towards the very dangerous Jaden Davis. From one Davis to the other, And Jaden Davis now looks confident, going back to try and have the shot. He's going to have to kick it from about 45, and again a bit of an angle, but we saw him do it before. Here's a left footer, so it is the wrong side for a left footer, but if anyone can kick it, Jaden Davis will be confident. Already has 2 for the day. And like I said, he got 8 last time they played. And hits the post. After all that build up, unfortunately, just hits the post. Good kick. Looked like it was going through, but the post is still wobbling. From the kick in, this is better. They found a target. A few times they really just bombed it long. Vandergaard to Max Kelly. Kelly long down the line now. Just couldn't take any mark. Goes long, and the ball is on the floor. He soccer kicks it in towards the forward line, and it is a boundary throw in. Nearly was a last man rule or out of the bounds. The soccer kick off the ground not really high, but luckily for him bounced and was touched by a few players before it went over the line. So they get a stoppage now in their attacking half. Is Old Iggy's looking for their second goal of the game. PAC Ruckman taps it beautifully to his defender to get the clearance and to get it out of that area. On the wing now, it's a bit of a scrap. Few players really progressing forward, and there goes the siren. For first quarter here is finished at Park 9. 4 goals, 3 to the home team. Plays 1 goal, 1 to the visitors. So 4 goal to 1 quarter. Old Iggy's won't be too upset with that, I believe. They did well defensively and had a few good moments of attacking themselves. Just couldn't really convert. And we'll have a bit of a break now for the quarter time. And we'll come back to you with the second quarter very soon. Hello, and we're back underway for the second quarter. 19-point margin at the first quarter break, going the way of the home team. They get the free kick now through Tozer. Goes forward. They do well with the defence here to clear it, but only as far as the Prince Alfred Old Collegians player, who centres the ball. Few big men fly, just couldn't take the mark, goes over the back. Trying to get it away is the defence, but the ball gets stuck a little bit there. Hot footy, everyone's getting tackled as soon as they get it. They censor the ball. Looking for Brazil. He's tacked up immediately. Supporters wanting holding the ball, but it is given as a ball up. Four goals, 2 plays, 1 goal, 19 points. Into the 50 now. The defender nearly took the mark, just couldn't hold on. And straight away they're alert, running are the attackers. They do get a clearance though, and a man is free in the middle of the field. Plays on quickly, trying to find a mark inside the 50. Over the top, the defence does well there to run and get the touch to it. The ball still in play on the pocket. Does well to shake off the tackle. Runs in the 50. Just the kick is too tricky, and he tries to dribble it, and it is rushed behind. They'll be a bit upset about that one. He did so well to get around the attacker. The kick wasn't the best, but from that goal kick that they caused, they do get a mark now. They tried to play on quickly from the goal kick and just couldn't take the mark, and Old Iggies did well to butter up and really find the uncontested mark inside the 50. Maybe a little bit too confident to attacking too quickly for Prince Alfred College. He has a shot now. Gonna have to kick it from about 35, 40. Bit of an angle. Kicks it very true and nice. Just left of the post. Looked like he was going in for most of it, just couldn't. Was Cole Hodges with that kick. This time they slow it down a bit and find the uncontested mark. Last kick in they really bombed it out and didn't work for them. So this time just a bit more traditional. Finding the contested marks. Now they go long, as in they're in a safer position towards the wing. Tackled a bit without the ball. Play on to the ump. His handball doesn't find his opponent from Old Iggies going forward. Soccer kicked off the ground for last possession. So the Old Iggies controlling some of the ball early in this second quarter. Doing well to play, I guess, the Prince Alfred College game. Just keeping the possession, finding marks around the ground. Now they go into the 50. Hodges does well to keep the tap alive, trying to get the ball forward, but the rebounding defenders really pounce and using their speed to break. Overlapping runs towards the middle of the ground. Long kick by Winter into the 50, into the pocket, takes one bounce, just couldn't take mark. He spins around his opponent, goes around and snaps it. Is Brazil just off target? Ball still alive. Iggy's trying to clear it, and they do instead decide to rush it behind, so probably the best outcome there. Just a quick rush behind and relieving all pressure. 4 goals, 4 now plays 1 goal, 3. The goal kick is not the best to kick in, sorry, and it is intercepted immediately. And with one easy kick, they do find Lachlan McNamara, the captain, who plays on quickly and unselfishly. Could have probably had a shot from his position, but unselfishly centres it to a bit of a better position. Maybe about the same distance out, to be honest, but just a better angle. As Jaden Davis again has the ball in his hands, and we know how dangerous he is. Keep mentioning it, but their most goals for the year on 39. The most goals last time these two played on 8, and already has 2 today. Real goal kicking specialist. Straight in front, but has to kick it from about 50. left foot of his is once again deadly and gets the third for the match. Again, he used that interesting technique. I'd say not everyone does it, but it works really well for him, that low darting kick over the top of the player's head. Brings the margin out. 5 goals 4, calls 1 goal 3. 2 behinds each, but that 1 goal was the difference so far to extend that margin. They get the ball forward again, and it is a free kick. He plays on quickly as Wildman, has a shot for goal from about 50, but was always left and stays left for another behind. I like Prince Alfred's College's intent to attack, really positive every time they get the ball, but I think sometimes they're a bit too keen to play on and take those risks. We've seen them a few times when they do chip it around and find those marks and not always have the shot, they actually do get goals from it. And a few times they've rushed it, they've messed it up and either conceded themselves or just turned the ball over. So we'll see if that changes, or they're trying this today. Thanks again to all our sponsors, Dartfish Scoreboard, the Archie Songs, Buddy Bet Gamble Responsibly, the Adelaide Footy League. All wonderful sponsors make all this possible. Prince Alfred College now find another mark. It's not far from the centre of the ground. Spins around. Is Garrels. Teammate marks it now. He's going to have a shot. Not the biggest ground, to be honest. The 250 metre lines are pretty close to each other. The middle of the ground is not massive. You can tell that by the lines, as the centre square is almost touching the 50 metre line. He's going to have a shot here from about 45. Runs in. Beautifully straight kick right over the umpire's head. Didn't have to move. Everyone just watched the ball sail through. On the opposite side of the ground, it's a bit hard to see who exactly that was, but very nicely taken. Brings the margin out to 6-5. Plays 1-3. Ball back in the middle now. Old Iggies really need to get a goal of their own, trouble the scoreboard. They've don't want to let this lead blow out. They're really dominating now in the middle. This time it is a boundary throw in though. Ball back into play. Old Iggies get the clearance this time. That's better. They need more of them. Very congested ball in the middle of the ground. He wrestles away from the tackling player. Dribbles the football forward towards Wildman again. He's been very good, Wildman. The ball is wrapped up though, however, and it is going to be another stoppage. They get the clearance. Is Old Iggy's, but only as far as Curran. Been very good Curran this season, really up there in the best players of the year. They handball along now. Finds Tozer, goes long. Just touched as it goes through. Nearly went in. He thought he had it. He was very excited to do something with that one, but just could not. I believe that last goal was Andrew Bradley. I had a look on the stream, or the instant replay as I like to call it. The stream, just as you guys are watching, and I believe he was the one that got it. So I'll give it to him. I'm sure he won't mind. Again, these marks, just to get into better positions for the kick, are really starting to hurt Old Iggy's. They take the intercept marks and then don't just bomb it forward or into the 50s, and they're chipping it around just outside the 50 or trying to find better positions, and this will be Tozer. We just saw him have a shot from about the same distance, so we know he can make the distance. This time it is a mark, so he got a bit more seconds just to compose and really think his way through the kick. The kick is very long and easily sails through. Made the distance easily, probably kicked it about 55 metres, I would say. And then it goes to another goal to Prince Alfred. Alarm bells starting to ring here for Old Iggy's. They've been good early, but this quarter really been dominated in terms of the possession in the middle of the ground. The score is threatening to blow up. Their third goal to the quarter, plays 0. Last time they met, it was a really one-sided match. 17 to 150. Prince Alfred College won that one, so a few big goal kickers that day too. Davis, as we mentioned, 8. Brazel 7. Trengrove 3 on that occasion. No Trengrove out there today. Maybe give him a rest before the finals. Wildman now back into the 50. Tackled as he's kicked it. So it's a free kick down the line. The umpire was pointing. I thought he was giving the free kick for Old Iggy's, but he was just pointing, saying it's a free kick down the field. Free kick. So they'll have a shot at goal here. He's right in the pocket, so very tight angle. You could see and hear a few of his players, his teammates, calling for it. Just like I said, trying to improve the angle, but he does go for it himself. And he gets it. 4th goal for the quarter for Prince Alfred College. That was another one for Brazel, number 22. Eight goals, 6, plays 1 goal, 3. They'll really want to get a goal soon, Old Iggy's, to really swing the momentum their way. It's really one side at the moment, unfortunately, and unfortunately for them. Prince Alfred will be loving this. Ball now again. Prince Alfred College just controlling the possession of the ball, running into the 50, strolling into the 50, I should say, just casually walking into the 50 and kicking it. Another goal for Prince Alfred College. I'll see who that was when he turns around, but he just strolled into the 50 and kicked it from about 35, 40. No real pressure on him. He just a bit of a Sunday walk. That was the captain, McNamara. Very handy player as well. They really got handy players all around the field. Again, they win it from the midfield, but this time not as easily as they're wrapped up as they try and exit it. And this is holding the ball. Better from Old Iggy's to really put the pressure on and get the turnover, but the kick is not very good, really putting his team under pressure. Wildman, we know how dangerous he is. Collects it off the ground, centres it, but not really well either. So the ball just dribbling across the ground, and they do get the ball. Old Iggy's looking for a mark now on the wing. No mark taken, but followed up nicely is second efforts. Into the 50 now. Curran gets tackled as he takes on the player, just not holding the ball. Really, I think should have been rewarded with that tackle with the holding the ball, but Old Iggy's don't drop their heads, doing well to get some clearances. But that kick is up high and long and out on the full. Yeah, that was such a good tackle on Curran. He tried to take on his opponent, got wrapped up, didn't handball it. Really thought it was holding the ball, but not seen by the ump. It's okay, it happens, but just unlucky for Old Iggy's not to get rewarded for that effort. They do the switch now. Really going back 50 metres for that switch. It is successful in the end with a few scary moments, but they do well right now. Handball it over the top, and when they want to slow it down, they do, just like that with Mark. They go forward now, and just like that find another goal. Really did well there to switch the play. As I mentioned, they went back about 40-50 metres with that kick, but the switch was on, and they're really good overlapping handballs, and when they want to, like I said, slow it down, and from that they find another goal. Brings the margin out now to a pretty scary 10 goals to 1. 6 behind to go with those 10 goals. The goal kicker now just strolling back into defence, so really pushed up a lot to get that goal. Still waiting for him to turn around, so I'm not sure who it is yet. Number 21 it was, so Charlton with his second. Playing that really modern half-back role, getting up the field, and scored 2 this game. Old Iggy's with a few nice handballs, but just one not clean. They do well though to get away from that tackle, kicks it forward, keeps the ball alive, dribbling in the right direction if you're an Old Iggy's fan. But the soccer kick off the ground is a rush behind. They've used the rush behind a few times, Prince Alfred Old Collegians. They do that really well. Just when they sense the danger and the ball's in a dangerous position right on the top of the goal square. And when they know they'll get away with it with the lots of pressure, they just rush it behind. Plays on from the goal kick, takes a bounce as well. And again playing on from, even when they mark it, the player who took the goal kick now, strolling in outside the 50, finds a kick, finds a mark. As they go really wide again, love to use the width of the pitch. Back into the middle now, and a big mark right in the goal square. From one end to the other, played on, and he kicks it easily, just turns around and slots it. I believe it was number 8, Mitch Wick, so they played on from the kick in, like I mentioned, took a bounce even. That's how confident he was with that play. And they've done really well to overlap. Really went, used the width again and got a mark in the goal square. I think the coach today, Craig Pitt, will be very happy with that play. You could tell that's definitely a training exercise they've done probably 100 times in training, and it really worked, and they pulled that one off nicely. After the loss last week, I dare say they would have had a hard training session, and it's really shown well today. Kobe Tozer a little bit slow to get up. He was on the floor maybe about 10 seconds longer than he had to be, just taking a rest. I'm not sure if he's hurt himself or something, but does go back into the ruck, holding his nose or his face or something like that. But he seems okay to continue. He's a tough guy. Taking out the ruck a little bit there, but play on, says the ump. Forward by Clark and marked in a forward line once again from Prince Alfred College. Their kicking has been super good. The efficiency they've been kicking with is nice. And that is Jaden Davis again. We've seen the ball in number 19's hands a lot. Already has 3. He's going to kick this one from about 30 out. Not much of an angle, so basically straight in front. Man of the mark doing his best to put him off. But we know how good he is, and it goes straight through for another one. That's 4 for Jaden Davis. Really impressive so far, and also really wanted to grow his spot, as he is top of the goal kicking for the Adelaide Footy League, and senses an opportunity to really push out his lead in that competition. It is a team game at the end of the day. I'm sure he would much rather his team win, but when you got the opportunity to bolster that side and try and go for an individual award, why not? "12 goals, 1. Very impressive from Prince Alfred College. They've really asserted their dominance this quarter. Kicking 8 goals, and still time to do more. Into the 50 again, and a high challenge gets them to have another shot at goal. It was a bit high, that one. He immediately he's still holding his head actually, so as soon as he got hit he was really feeling it. But he's okay to continue and take the kick. Is William Sharlick. 8 goals this quarter for their team. 12 in total. And he gets it. I think that was Jaden Davis again, actually, number 19. My mistake. From here it looked like a 16, so I got them too confused, but it is a team game in the end, and it just another goal on the for this quarter. 5 goals for Davis. Really dangerous player, and poor Iggy's won't be happy to let him get 5.5. Still time to get more as well, as I mentioned. Been a really difficult year for Old Iggy's with that one victory all year. But it's good experience for them, and really getting games into their team to push for next year, when, as we know, there is promotion and relegation. So even though they get relegated this year, they'll probably be one of the favourites to go back up because of their Div 1 experience next year. Garrels now goes wide. Again using the width here. Old Iggy's will do well to keep the ball alive, but they eventually looks like they're going to clear it here. But the tackling was actually a lot, and the soccer kick from Iggy's brings the ball into towards their 50. The pressure is intense though, not letting them breathe, even with this big margin. Still pushing hard, and now Slee into the 50, over the top of the defender and marked. Old Iggy's had the right idea, read the play well, and just jumped and just over his fingertips, so it is taken for a mark by Andrew Bradley. Bradley also really high up on the best players on the Between the Posts show. He'll be wanting to really stake a claim in that race. Has a kick, and it goes through. Second of the day for Andrew Bradley. And really done well for his team. For a midfielder to have 2.5, he'll be happy with that. A lot of goal kickers so far. 7 different goal kickers, in fact, from their 14 goals. 14 goals, 6. So they've been very accurate as well. Not only have they got the ball forward and have a lot of shots to goal, obviously, but also accurate. To get 14 goals, 6 is a good outcome, with a few rush that I can remember as well. So really accurate kicking and very important. Wildman now into the 50, lowers his eyes, ball bounces before the player can mark, and he's wrapped up immediately. His teammates running back to help, but Prince Alfred College now just finding a bit of room through Macaulay and a few others. Centering ball, high kicks. Who's going to sit under that? Big pack forms, just couldn't take the mark. Snapped around now by Brazel, spins but goes for a behind. Maybe a bit of a jinx there. I was talking about how they haven't got a behind for a while, and that's a behind now for Prince Alfred College. This is better though by Old Iggies. They're chipping it out of defence and finding uncontested marks into the 50 now. Over the top, he's free and is taken. Thinking about playing on, but doesn't. He really thought about playing on there. They've done really well though. They're really played the Prince Alfred College game there from one end to the other. Nice handballing and finding uncontested marks across the wing. And now Brandon Lord will have a shot outside the foot and gets it in for his first goal of the game. That's better by Old Iggies. I want a lot more of that if they want to get back into this game. Done well to find those marks across the wing and play on handballing over the top of their opponents and finding a mark deep in their attack. That was Brandon Lord who got that one. 3 goals last week in their 32-point loss to Spock. St. Paul's is Spock. So yeah, he definitely knows how to find the sticks when he gets a chance. He's also the top goal scorer for the year with 10. Ball back in the middle. Push in the back. Old Iggies have a chance now to get forward, and it's another 25. Doesn't give the ball back immediately, so into the 50 now. Decides to pass it to a better place, and it is nicely taken once again by Brandon Lord. Nicely done by Old Iggies to make the most of that chance they had. Make the most of the free kick, but very nice movement by Brandon Lord, who have another shot here. About 25-30 metres out. Bit of an angle though, however. And it just goes left and wide of the post. Really needed that one, Old Iggies, to really get the 2 goals in a row. Just couldn't. He's a good kick usually. Lord, he'll be disappointed with that one. Really making him work for this to get out of their 50. Good running by Old Iggies to spread the ground and try and cover all the spots, and they do get the interception from a handball into the 50 once again, over the top of all the players. Ball hits the deck. A few players trying to chase after this guy, but the siren beats them all. It's a really dominant half there by Prince Alfred College. Old Iggies will be disappointed to let that many goals in and also not get those 2 goals at the end in a row. Eight goals at quarter for Prince Alfred College, so the score is 14 goals 7 plays 2 goals 5. Big margin at half time here at Park 9. Thanks to Filming Footy and for the stream, and Sportal Scoreboard for those scores. We'll go for a half-time break and be back with you with the second half here at Park 9. We're back for the second half today at Park 9 for this Prince Alfred Old Collegians versus Old Ignatians. It was only 19 points at the first quarter time, but really blew up in the second half. 74 points the difference coming into half time. Old Iggies will want to do a little bit better this quarter to really put some more goals on and try and reduce this margin, keep the game competitive. They've started well, getting possession on the wing, but intercept mark in defence means that Prince Alfred College will clear this situation. 5 goals to Jaden Davis in that first half. He'll want to add more. As I mentioned, he is top of the goal kicking list. Old Iggies get a free kick here now to go into the 50. Big fly by Lord, just couldn't take it. Ball hits the deck. A lot of hard running from Old Iggies to try and follow up and find a way at goal, and they get a stoppage. That's better from Old Iggies, just really locking it in their defence. First with a free kick and then now with another stoppage. The ball's almost cleared by Prince Alfred College. It is eventually through Wildman. Wide to Brazel. And over the line for a boundary throw-in. Both teams lost last week, so they both wanted to really push forward and get back on the winners list. Prince Alfred College well on the way of doing that now. Bit of a shock loss, even though it's first third on the ladder, they were first at the time, so a bit of a shock loss last week to Sacred Heart College. McCarthy from Old Iggies now into the 50, the edge of the 50, shakes off one tackle but didn't get the ball away using the correct method, and is a freak for holding the ball. Straight through the middle of the ground now. Finds a mark. Garrels spins and kicks it long into the 50. Few of the usual suspects there. Nicely punched away from Old Iggy's defender. And they get the clearance through Ryan. And onto wing. To Hodges. Hodges long down the wing again. And this goes over for a boundary throw-in. Coach Darryl Spencer from Old Iggies will be happy with the start, I reckon. They've really stopped all the run and momentum that they had in early in the second quarter, and really controlling the ball in their own right. Getting probably more inside 50s this quarter, which is a small win. One of the players goes down, ball hits into his guts, maybe just a bit lower than the guts if you can use your imagination. But Prince Alfred College now burst into the 50. They're numbered in attack and they take an easy mark over the back. Never a good sign when there's more attackers than defenders, and they made the most of it on that occasion with Jaden Davis having the ball in his hands. About 20 metres out straight in front, should get his 6. Still taking his time to go through his technique. Always professional to see that. And he does kick it truly again for number 6. First goal of the quarter, going the way of Prince Alfred College, just how it finished. Actually, no, my mistake. Old Iggy's got the last goal of the second quarter. So. But it is a number 6 for Jaden Davis. He got 8 last time they versed each other and now has 6 already. He really wants those Archie's thongs and the Sportal beanie. Old Iggy's now into the 50 of their own. Long kick. Takes a bounce, but touched as it goes through, and it's a rush behind again. Like I mentioned, they're using the rush behind well. Even though it is on the Old Iggy's, it's a good habit to get into, to use these tricks to relieve pressure, and they've used it really well on this occasion. Chipping kick in defence, always risky, but they find a mark. Old Iggy's really marking well, no options for him, so he bombs it long down the line. In front is Old Iggy's player, just could take the mark and is tackled as he collects it off the floor. They want to win this clearance to get a repeat inside 50s. Two ruckmen go at it, tapped nicely by Prince Alfred Old Collegians ruckman. Collides with the umpire, so he just got in the way. Shepherding that was. Into the 50 now, Old Iggy's. Has a shot, takes a bounce, and it sails through. Another goal for Old Iggy's to give their third for the match. Found that space thanks to a bit of a luck with his opponent colliding with the umpire. They're both okay though, which is the main thing, but still had to finish it from outside 50, and really nice finish. Dribbled through for a goal in the end, over the top of everyone. And good to see they didn't lose their heads, and the players really getting around him and supporting him for kicking that one. Ball cleared now, but they go wide instead with a handball. Could have had a clearance there straight into the 50, but decided to go wide, which was a bit of an odd decision in my opinion. And it is a stoppage. That last goal coming from Edward Davies of Old Iggy's. Very nicely taken. Big tackle just along the boundary line, and it is a free kick for pushing the back. Elliot Mitchell been probably one of the best players for Old Iggy's this afternoon. Very good in that first quarter. Long down the line as they chip it back into the corridor. Running is Wiseman, looking for a pass. Could have probably had a shot himself. He was strolling into the 50, but the kick, he chose to pass instead, which is unselfish. But the kick over the top of the defender wasn't the best kick, and a bit of trouble now. Old Iggy's, they try to clear it, so he kind of had to bomb it out. Good contest just outside the 50 now, and a free kick is found to Davies, who was the last goal kicker. His kick wide to the wings, and another big long kick, probably about 60 metres, but was cut off by Prince Alfred College this time. Using that switch, again going backwards for the switch. They're not afraid to go backwards to go forward. One step back, two steps forward, as they say. Their kicking has been very good. If you say kicking accuracy, I wish I had that stat, to be honest. I reckon it'd be in the 90s. So often they find the target they're looking for. Holding the ball. He thought he had marked it, but the umpire said play on, got wrapped up immediately, and was caught holding the ball. And now goes out for a boundary throw in. So a few little wins here for Old Iggy's early. They've had a few moments where they've looked good and not letting Prince Alfred College do as they like, which is very important, as we've seen. And they're getting these stoppages up the field in dangerous positions, getting the ball in their 50 of their own right. So hopefully they just keep it up and really improve. If they just improve some of their accuracy in terms of goal kicking as well as around the ground, it'll go a long way to helping them get back into this match. Like that one there, intercepted nicely by Hodges. Spins around, passes it, trying to look for Lord. Just punched just before he could mark it, but other than that, it was a good effort. But the pressure is good to not let them get the easy marks. Those chips marks have been killing them all game. But as we've seen, Prince Alfred Old Collegians, they have a second gear and they go into it now with their handballs and their runs. Nicely intercepted, however, to get the ball going in the opposite direction once again. Good shepherding by his teammate to let him get the inside 50. Lord jumps at it, but just outmarked, a bit of a outnumbered in that situation, so couldn't do him too much as they switch the play now to Wildman, sorry. Wildman takes a bounce and another. Long down the wing, takes another bounce, a third one. Gets around one of the defenders. Into the 50, ran half the field by himself. The ball now, contested, just outside the 50. They do well to handball it out of there, finding a bit of room to get the clearance, and goes over the line. For a last man or and the forward might have just hit his foot as he went out. But very nicely there by Wildman. Been really impressed by his game. He took 3 bounces running down the wing. The kick didn't find his target, or did, but good defence by Old Iggies to get the ball away from the dangerous areas. Their kick's just not as accurate, Old Iggies, unfortunately, and they just keep turning the ball over. So now it goes back towards the 50 of PAOC. Does well to butter up though and get in front of the ball and finds a mark on the wing. Plays on quickly now into the 50. Mark there by Leyden. Handballs it wide to a bigger kick. Now into the 50. A lot of players around the ball. Bounces. Wildman does well to butter up and really find the uncontested mark just to take the pressure off. That was a very interesting movement. They tried to speed up, tried to play on, but when they realised it was not possible, they just found the mark and really controlled the ball. Even now, like, no one to go to. Instead of bombing it long and potentially turning it over, especially when Old Iggies have been good at getting turnovers this quarter, they switch the play and get those marks. He takes the guy on the mark on, but is tackled. Very nice tackle. If there was an award for tackle of the week, I think that'd be up there. Slee with the giving away the free kick, and now another 25. Beautifully tackled by Will Ferrari. Got to give him credit. He was the man on the mark. Slee tried to take him on, but he wrapped him up beautifully. Got a free kick and then the extra 25. Having a shot at goal now, about 40 metres out. Bit of an angle, but it's okay for a right footer. Going to goal now. And finish it off. Very nicely taken. Will Ferrari, very luxurious player, and did very well there. Not only did he get the big tackle to get the free kick, got the 25 and finished the job, which is the most important thing, getting the goal for his team. Their second goal for the quarter. And Prince Alfred College only have one, so they're actually winning the quarter, Old Iggies. Their coach will be much happier with this in Darryl Spencer. He'll be probably pretty delighted with what he's seen. They've really not given up despite the big margin and come out as probably the better team this quarter, which is always good to see. You know, it's not easy to be the best team against this Prince Alfred College team. Into the 50 though from the clearance up, Prince Alfred College. And a free kick going the way of that player who flew for the mark. Lucas Schultz. flew for the ball but was pushed as he was pushed under it a bit, so it is a free kick here. Right in front of us, the broadcast team, myself, Jad Gosson, and cameraman Jamie doing a wonderful job sitting on top of the trailer, giving you all guys this beautiful angle. Schultz with a magnificent kick straight through the middle. Gets his first for the day and joins the party. Two goals straight this quarter. First for Schultz. But overall is the 16th goal. Stop! 70 points, the margin, I believe, if my maths is correct. Old Iggy's been really good this quarter, really pushing forward and not making it easy for them to get the goals so far. The ball into the 50, slips a little bit as he collects it, and it is given a high because it did hit his head. Into the 50 again. Big fly, just couldn't take the mark. Trying to clear it is Davies. Does nicely with some handballs. Alfred, long kick down the line. So that was a player named Alfred for old Ignatians, just in case you were confused. Not quite Prince Alfred, just Max Alfred. Max Kelly does well to mark in the middle of the ground, goes wide, been impressed with his game as well. And this man who marked it in Elliot Mitchell goes towards a 50, but nicely taken by the defender, who goes into the middle of the ground once again. Risky kick over his teammate's head. Big ruckman does well in Alfred again. Nicely done to find the mark inside 50. Just wasn't taken, unfortunately for him on that occasion, but does well to keep the pressure up and gets the second ball now. Into the 50 again goes McCarthy, looking for a mark. Touched and goes along for a behind. They did well to keep the ball alive. They keep the ball in their 50, trying to lock it in there. They had a bit of a shot at goal / trying to find a mark, but it was a rush behind with a punch. Onto the wing now. He goes high and long. Just slips at the crucial moment, but still does well with a handball while he's on the floor. But the kick is rushed into no one in particular, and it is intercepted. Perks now, I believe, into the 50, but nicely taken by the defender in Emerson. Read the play well, took a nice mark. Emerson goes wide, puts his team under pressure, but he's tackled without it, so it's holding the man. And free kick for Vandergaard. Vandergaard to the wing. Into the middle now. Risky kick down the corridor, but nicely taken. Beautifully kicked to find his teammate. Spins around is Ferrari. Into the 50 now. To no one in particular. And a lot of players there to clean up. And they do with a nice handballs and a kick to find a mark by Clark. Clark into the middle. He plays on and handballs it, but tackled as soon as he collects it. Very nice tackle. Looks like the tackler's hurt himself a little bit, holding his arm, and he immediately runs off. So unlucky for him. It was such a good tackle, but he did hurt himself with that motion. Is Oscar Rice. knew immediately he was in trouble, ran off. Never good to see injuries, and he was really holding his shoulder. Maybe dislocated it, would be my guess, the way he was holding it. But hopefully he can. It's nothing too serious. 2v1 here, and he is tackled, so another stoppage. Prince Alfred College now go wide and into the 50. No mark taken, takes a bounce, dribbles towards the goals. Nicely trying to collect it is Brazil, just couldn't pick it up off the floor. The reinforcements come back to try and take the ball, take a clearance, and it is rushed over the line. From the kick in, they do take the play on quickly, finding the mark before they could set up their zone. Through the middle and now wide. Through McCarthy. Finds his teammate on the wing. They play on quickly again, looking for a mark right down the line, but it was a very ambitious kick. He kicked about 40 metres trying to look for a mark for the player who wasn't even in front. But they did well to get the stoppage. So at the end of the day, they did get the stoppage, end of that play, I mean, and they get to have a dangerous throw from the umpire. Will throw it back in now, about 40 metres out from their goal. So Old Iggies really are putting the pressure up and doing nice attacking movement. Prince Alfred College now into the kicking it forward, but there's outnumbered in defence and it's wrapped up again. Another stoppage. This time not far from the 50-metre line for the Prince Alfred Old Collegians attack. The clearance comes the way of Old Iggies towards the wing, and another stoppage. Bit of a low in play now, so few repeat stoppages in a row. I dare say Craig Pitt won't be too happy with this quarter. They haven't dominated as anywhere near as much as the second quarter. I know a lot of the work was done in the second quarter, but they're probably looking for a four-quarter effort after their loss last week. Losing by 33 points, only kicking 6 goals. They're a bit back to that now with their attacking movement not really clicking this quarter. I know when you kick 8 goals in the second quarter, you can afford to maybe not be as clean, but they really should fix up soon, as Old Iggies are growing into this match to try and really put the pressure on. The 50-metre, the inside 50 is rebounded. The kick not the best. Does mark it though, however. Nearly took a bounce, but almost like a cricketer. Just stopped it from bouncing, took the mark. Wildman again. Into the 50, now they go into the pocket, and nice communication there by Schultz. There was about 2 players that could have marked that one. They used their words, used the communication, shared it among themselves, and Schultz took command and took the mark. Looking to have a shot goal now. Gonna have to kick it from about 45, 50. Quite a tight angle right in front of us here. Big kick. Just wide though, but still in play, and now tapped over for a behind. Thumping kick. You can probably hear it on the microphone. It was big bang to it, but just not on target, unfortunately. Straight down the middle of the ground he goes, always risky. Nearly takes the mark. Thought he took a mark. He jumped over 2 to do that. Oh, it's given. It's given. I thought it touched someone on the way through. What a crazy mark then. He literally jumped over 2 people to take that. Was the number 8 for Old Iggies in Spencer. Very, very nice mark. Using the width again here, they're very good at that. Finding Wildman. The kick not the best, so it's turned over, but not for long, as they have the numbers back there to clean up the mess and sweep up. Bit of a sweeper keeper style defense with the zones they've got, and really doing well to get the ball back as soon as they lose it and as soon as it's kicked down the line. They switch the play again by going backwards. Definitely a theme they've been training, and it's worked pretty well so far. And when they need to, they switch it back, just like on that occasion. They went wide, nothing on offer, go the other way. So their ball movement's been really impressive as the siren goes for the third quarter. Pretty even quarter, that one. No one really dominating and no one really getting too far away from what the score was at half time. 16-9 to the home team, plays the visitors Old Iggies 4-7. So very even, in fact, that it's the exact same margin, 74 points. Both teams kicking 2 goals through that quarter. So Old Iggies will be happy to reduce the blood loss and really stem all the attacking movement and stop too many goals from occurring, but it really is still 74 points at the end of the day, and Prince Alfred College still in a good position to see this match. We'll come back after these messages for the fourth quarter. Hello and welcome back to Park 9 for the fourth quarter action. Third quarter saw it all even, 2 goals, 2 behinds apiece, keeping the margin at 74 points just like it was at half time. The margin was 19 points at quarter time, so it looked like we had a game, but really blown out in the second quarter with Prince Alfred Old Collegians kicking 8 goals in that quarter. They kept it respectable though, however, Old Iggies in that third quarter, and they really want to do the same this quarter. Didn't let Prince Alfred College do as they liked, really put the pressure on and kept them doing what they want to do in some times. And we see how now he runs down the wing, very nicely done, and takes 2 bounces, takes a shot at goal, but the goalkeeper there, as I like to call him, just ready to intercept it. I believe that was Slee with a kick. Mackenzie Slee. Some of the goal kickers, 6 goals for Jaden Davis. We know how good he is. 2 for Charlton, 2 for Brazil, 2 for Bradley. Very impressive as well, all around. For Old Iggies, 4 goal kickers. Spencer, we saw him take a nice mark as well. Ferrari with a mark after he tackled it very nicely. Davies and Brandon Lord. Old Iggies now down the wing, finding a nice mark through Hodges. Hodges also been impressive, to be honest. I've liked his game. Long high kick into the 50. Who's there under it? No one can mark it. Takes a bounce. The pressure's on here. Trying to put pressure on Charlton, but just couldn't. And marked by Charlick. Charlick finds an easy chip, just a little bit sideways. Immediately turns around and finds another mark, going the way of McNamara, who handballs back to Charlick with the overlapping run. Charlick down the wing, nicely intercepted by Old Iggies. Play on. No one can take the ball cleanly or get it away from that stoppage, so it will be in fact a stoppage, and it's going to be a bound. The goalkeeper, the umpire will bowl it up now. Jostling for front position, no one could really take a clean tap. Now it's a boundary throw-in. It's the last man, actually. They called that as the last man, so he's kicked it through the middle of the ground. Again, always not afraid to bomb into they don't just bomb into the 50, they're not afraid to find a mark around the ground, through the middle of the ground, anywhere they can. He tries to take on the mark, just gets a handball last second, nearly got caught for on the ball. Running a little bit backwards now, but Wildman with his composure. 1-2 with Macaulay. Macaulay into the 50. They mark and play on through McNamara, looking for a mark, but intercepted nicely by the Old Iggies defender. A little bit too confident with that kick, very risky kick to do, and he thought he could pull it off for a mark but couldn't. It was nicely intercepted, but Wildman now gets the possession back, chips it into the 50, another inside 50 for him. The mark not taken, play on. Nearly a boundary throw in, but instead he boots it forward, goes out for it, out in the full. So they did well to keep it in, but then really rushed the kick and it just went out on the full. They go on to 50 now. Big fly, big mark taken. Really well done to read the play and time his jump nicely. Was the attacking player there. In Lucas Schultz, we've seen him do a few nice things. He already has a goal and a few nice marks around the ground. He's probably one of their best players in that third quarter, actually. And he'll have another goal now to get his second for the game. He's going to have to kick it from about 50, 45, maybe a bit less, coming in now. And nicely done, but just left of the posts. I thought it just sneaked in, but it looked like it was on target, just in the last second, just went a little bit left, and first score of the game, I believe. First score of the quarter, I should say. Another stoppage now, boundary throw in. Deep inside the Prince Alfred Collegians attack. They've been kicking better on this side of the ground with 8 goals coming onto this side of the ground, with only 6 to the broadcast side, I'd say, with more quarters played towards this side. They play around with it with handballs here, trying to find some space, doing well to keep the ball alive and progressing it forward with those handballs. Even when they fumbled a little bit like that, they still have the composure to find a mark and find a dangerous position on the ground. Mark not taken, but nicely crumbed there by the captain McNamara. Into the 15 marks. McNamara nicely cleaned up and beautifully kicked into space for the attacker to run onto. He's going to line up for a shot now, deep inside the 50. But very tight angle, right in the pocket. Lining up for a check side. He does. And gets a goal. Very clean kick. Knew exactly what he was doing, knew the technique needed, and finished off nicely. That is another one for Tyson Brazel, bringing his total to 3 today. Prince Alfred College with their first goal of the quarter. First goal of anyone in this quarter. Toes in the rock. Gets the punch forward. Big punch forward. A clearance from a punch. But the handball from his teammate was not good enough, and Old Iggies do well to turn the ball over and get forward, but the kick finds McNamara. Never want to find him. He's been very good for them. The handball over the top, very clever and easily slotted through. 2 in 2 minutes for Prince Alfred Collegians. A little bit out of nothing, that one. They really just had the ball forward, but nothing too dangerous. But the handball was very clever over the top of his shoulder to let through that goal there. Some good signs early in this quarter for Old Iggies, but 2 goals have gone the way of Prince Alfred Collegians. I believe that goal coming to that guy, that man in Campbell Wildman. Seen him play a bit off half back, but really did well, push forward on that occasion. Very good football IQ, always in the right positions. I see him. Wrapped up immediately with that tackle, but it is high, so Old Iggies will get a little bit of pressure relieved here to get the ball out of this area. Goes wide, but the mark dropped and then tackled as he follows up with those efforts. Bit unlucky with that one, and It is a free kick. A certain inside 50 now going the way of Prince Alfred Collegians. He does quickly play on to find his teammate in Mitch Wicks. Wicks thinks about playing on for a pass, but last second pulls away, so he'll have a shot himself. He's going to have to kick it from about 55, standing in the circle, the middle circle. Just shows you how long this pitch is. Not very long is the answer. Wicks now has a shot. Should never have doubted himself. Very nice kick. Easily made the distance and even more. Probably about a 55-60 metre kick in the end, and gets another goal on his first for the day. Or second for the day, I believe. Very nicely kicked. You can tell that he's been practicing that one. Thought about passing it a few times, but good job at the end. He backed himself. Very nice goal. Thanks to everyone watching this game. Thanks to all the sponsors as always. Buddy Bet, gamble responsibly. Sportal Scoreboard. And of course, the best player of the day will get Archie's thongs. Few players are really putting their hand up for that one. Old Ignatians may find their way forward through Hodges. He kicks it into the pocket. No mark taken. All the crummers now jump on top, and it's going to be a holding the ball. Umpire thought about it for a second, saw a big pack forming on top, but must have saw the player drag it in and really penalised him for it. So Old Ignatians will have a shot at goal here. Only about 20 metres out. Quite a tight angle, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. The player's lining up 10 metres away, so if he does play on, they can run in. But he snaps around his body and does kick it. Very nicely played. Kicks their first for the quarter, their 5th overall. And he now comes off for a much needed rest. Is the number 19 in Brandon Lord, kicking his second actually. He's been good, Lord, really got a few nice marks inside the 50, had a few shots of his own and kicked 2 goals, but also for a big man in that occasion was the one tackling and getting the free kick for the holding the ball. Prince Alfred Collegians had that dominant second quarter, but other than that, been pretty even all around. That second quarter was quite unbelievable. I'd be scared of any team if they played like that. But they haven't always been like that. They've had mistakes of their own. They've had moments where they move a bit away from the game plan. We see them go down the wing a lot, or switching the play a lot, and they don't always do that. Sometimes they get a bit too confident and just bomb it when they don't have to. But this occasion he does switch it. Good leadership out there by Siebels, who saw the switch and pointed it out to his teammate. Clark now. Long down the wing, just couldn't mark it through his fingertips. But here he is again, Wildman. Takes a bounce again, he loves to bounce it and kicks it into the 50. He's had so many inside 50s, I reckon. But they play on from the free kick and snaps it for a goal. Very nicely played. The inside 50 from Wildman. They got a free kick, but he picked it up and snapped it from about 40 metres. He knew he could make the distance and was confident enough to do so. I believe that was Joshua Garrels, who got that goal. Done very well on that occasion, and yeah, very nice goal. The score now 20 goals, 10 behinds, plays 5-7. This will be a much needed win for Prince Alfred College after their loss last week, back on the winners table. They probably came here expecting to win, but it's not always that easy. You still have to come out here and actually do the job, and they've really risen to the occasion and played well. They'll be hoping for a strong finish now to boost their percentage and also to get back to that second quarter, which was so dominant. The ball deep inside Old Iggy's forward line. But again, the composure on display is quite amazing, and they're really controlling the ball. Finding targets just like that. If we had live stats, I reckon it'll tell you the marking numbers would be a huge difference. But on that occasion, Old Iggy's get the mark. Very nicely taken. But the contested marks in general from all around the ground have been a big feature of this match and a big reason why they're ahead by so much. They're controlling the air and progressing the ball however they like, if it's going through the wings or through the middle. Clark now. A few nice handballs. Finds Charlton, who runs through a few people very nicely. To Pritchard. Pritchard goes forward. Back to Charlton. Is tackled over the line for a boundary throw-in. Half forward for Prince Alfred Old Collegians here. Forward by Wicks, but nicely taken by the defender over the back of him. Nicely tackled, and another boundary throw-in. Quickly going around the grounds, a few very close games around the league. Glenunga Rams beating Broadview by 3 points with 20 minutes played. Teacher Gully and Port District, very close game again as well, only 3 points the difference. Teacher Gully, sorry, a bit more difference than that one. Read the score one, 102 to 59 the way of Port District. 77 to 37, Shock and Brighton. Bit of a scrap going on in the middle. Not always good to see that, but good passion shown by both teams, even with the score blowing out. They're keeping the passion alive. And the other game is St. Peter's are beating Goodwood Saints 54 to 40, so that's kind of an upset result at the moment. Thanks to Filming Footy Sportal for showing all those streams around every week, all Div 1 games live streamed with commentary just like myself. So thanks to everyone for the hard work to get that in. With finals fast approaching, lots of interesting and fun times ahead. Back to today's action. Old Iggy's now going into their 50 of their own, but the kick just too wide of anyone and goes out for out in the full. Not long left now in this game. Looking at some of the better players, I really liked Wildman. I liked Bradley's always good. Tyson Brazel 3 goals and a couple of them early, which is important to set up the game for them. As we have a bit of a stoppage here. And again, they're going at it. Player hurt off the ball here, so people making their feelings known about it. Bit of pushing and shoving, but nothing too bad. I've liked the game of McNamara, of course, the captain. As we have a yellow card shown, so one of the players here given the yellow card, 10 minutes off. Not always good not to see a yellow card, and does result in a free kick for Prince Alfred Old Collegians. One of the Old Iggy's players sent off with a yellow card. They can replace the yellow card, but it's just a bit of a sin bin type thing as the ball's in the forward line. Some of the other players, yeah, so McNamara was good, the captain. Jaden Davies kicking 6, always impressive when you kick a bag that big. Forward Ignatians hasn't been the easiest day for them, but still a few good positives. I like Kyle Hodges, I've liked Alfred, especially this quarter. And Will Ferrari's always good in the middle. As well as Elliot Mitchell in defence, especially early, really kept the score low early, and very well done how he read the play. And Quinn Spencer, very nice mark, as well as a goal, which was impressive. So of course the best player does win the Archie's thongs and a sport or beanie, but we won't tell you the best player anymore live on stream, because it's all a secret from now on, as the 3-2-1 votes are all collated and added up for a share in a racehorse. So a very big prize for the best player in the Adelaide Footy League. Although it is a bit of a blowout at the end of the day, a lot to be happy about for Old Iggies. They did a lot of good things. That second quarter really killed them, but other than that, it's been not too badly evened across the field, and they've shown that they're competitive in this league, so that's always a good sign, especially when they do get relegated. They will be have some confidence that they can hang with the biggest and best teams in the league. A rich club in their own organisations, in their own right, and we'll learn a lot from this game, I reckon. It just shows that they are not that far off, although they are sitting on the bottom of the ladder. They have some moments in this game where they really caused Prince Alfred Old Collegians some issues. The shot earlier missed, and this one does as well. A little bit complacent with that kick, rushed it and never really was going on target, straight off this boot. As for Prince Alfred, like I said, they'll be happy to get back on the winners list. They still will remain in second, only 1 point behind Port District, and been a good run out for them. They've shown what they can do. They've got some big goals in their goal kickers, and been pretty accurate in front of goal with 20-11 on the 20 goals, 11 behinds on the scoreboard, on the Sporter scoreboard. And yeah, it's been a good outing for them. They've shown their switches of play, and their ball kicking has been good. Shakes off one tackle here with the kick, goes for home, but just wide. That was Charlick, I believe. Free kick down the ground going to Old Iggies. They'll want to quickly do this before everyone gets back to defend. Spencer spins round into the pocket, nicely ran, just couldn't take the mark, bounce in front of him. Big hip and shoulder, but nice and fair to find that little bit of room and to find the kick. Down to Wicks, who's running after it, but beaten to the boundary line. I'll be interested to see how happy Craig Pitt is with this performance, because like I said, they have dominated, but that second quarter really blew them out of the water. Other than that, just not always the cleanest as we saw in that second quarter. So we'll see. I'm sure he'll still be happy with a big win. Still things they can clean up, and when they come against the big teams, they really need to clean this up so they can get the correct results. Especially with finals approaching, you really want to fine-tune your form. They did have Jack Trengove out, of course, today, which is also obviously a big miss. One of the best players in this division. but they've done well without him and still dominated the midfield in most parts. That kick, however, was wide. It's another behind. 20 goals, 13. Not long left now, I imagine, as we do come to a close in this match. Good day for footy. No rain, been a fair contest. The umpire is just having a chat here to see if it was a boundary throw-in or a deliberate. It is a boundary throw-in, they decide. One said boundary throw-in, one said deliberate, so they just had a quick chat, and good to see from the umps. Thanks for all their hard work as always. Big punch from the ruck, but wrapped up as soon as he collects it. So on the stoppage now. The ball's going to the centre now, through Charlick. Can't find a mark, but they're doing well to continue the ball forward. McNamara goes wide to his teammate in Curran, and Curran even wider to Wildman. Wildman now lining up for goal. Already has one this quarter. Gonna have to kick it from about 40 metres. He goes in, just wide. The ball coming out now nicely. Markson plays on with a handball quickly into the middle of the ground, looking for another mark. Just couldn't take it. Fingertips away. They do well to rebound it as Prince Alfred Old Collegians. Get the ball forward as always. Chris Curran now into the forward line. Just wide. He would have really wanted that goal, Chris Curran. We know he's a champion defender. Pushed up the ground, found a bit of room about 50 metres out. The defence has not had too much work to do overall, conceding the 5. Last time they versed Old Ignatians, however, they did concede only 2 goals, the whole game. So a little bit worse than that time, and that was away from home. And there's a siren to confirm the result that we did see coming for quite a while, ending up as 20 goals 15 to Prince Alfred Old Collegians, 5 goals 7 to the visitors. Overall, as I mentioned, it's been a pretty one-sided match, but not without the challenges. Old Ignatius really pushed hard and had good moments of their own. Wasn't always on their own terms, and equaling one of the quarters and only keeping him to 2 goals, and another quarter to 4 goals, and this one to 4 goals as well. So other than the second quarter, which was a huge blowout, it's been a pretty even affair all around, and always they look like they're in control most of the game. Prince Alfred Old Ignatius, so they'll be happy with that. A good run out for them. Couple of big bags in the locker room. Jaden Davis was 6, 3 for Brazil. We know how dangerous those two are, and they really put on a good show for the big crowd here today at Park 9. Thanks again to all the sponsors. Thanks to the Archie's Thongs, who the best player will receive. Go and chat with them. Check out the Between the Post show on YouTube. Drops once a week, and a comprehensive insight into all the matches. Thanks to Filming Footy and Adelaide Footy League. Every match Div 1 match live on YouTube every week with commentary, with cameras, and as this game closes, we'll see you. We'll see. Looking forward, there's a few more rounds left of the season before finals, and it'll be important to see how they go and where they finish. Trying to get those home final spots, as we know, is very important, and they have a good record at home here. Thanks to Jamie, the cameraman, and thanks from myself for watching Judd Gosson. It's been a very interesting match, and have a good Saturday night, and we'll see you again on Filming Footy.